can you get a mortgage if you're self-employed? Short answer, yes. And in this video, we're going to describe how to get a mortgage if you're self-employed, so the process is simple and easy. Now, most people think that you can't get a mortgage if you own a business or you're self-employed because the way that you get paid is different. You're not traditionally given pay stubs or W-2. Well, good news, you can still qualify for a mortgage by having the underwriters, the lender, they look at your tax returns. And the number they look at on your tax returns, the adjusted gross income. So that means they're going to look at all the money that the business took in. They're going to subtract anything that you write off or any expenses that you have on the tax return. And they're going to look at that number, the adjusted gross income, for qualifying. Another thing that is typically required if you're trying to obtain a home loan when you're self-employed is 2 years worth of adjusted gross income. So you're going to need 2 most recent years of tax returns with that adjusted gross income number. And in most cases, they take those 2 years, add them up, and divide it by 24 to give you your monthly qualifying income as a self-employed borrower. All right, so now that you know you can get a home loan if you're self-employed, let's make this process easy. One thing that you can do to make this easier is by just providing the documentation that's needed. Don't worry about providing state tax return documents. You do not have to provide that. What you do need to give is the federal tax return documents. And when I say the federal tax return documents, I mean all pages. Sometimes people will exclude pages on accident or intentionally exclude pages. This is not something you want to do. You want to give your home loan advisor every single page of that federal tax return. Leave it to your home loan advisor to scan through all the documentation and find ways to increase your qualifying income number, and that will make things even easier on you. Now, there's some other things that are going to make this a whole lot easier, and that is also providing to your home loan advisor your profit and loss statements. If you have a year-end profit and loss statement, go ahead and send that to them, and especially if you have a year-to-date profit and loss statement, will be super helpful. But qualifying is more than just income. It also has to do with your assets, the amount of money that's in your checking accounts. And if you're like most business owners, like me, money can flow to and from the personal accounts and your business accounts all the time. As a result, it is wise to make sure that you submit at least the last 3 months worth of business bank statements and the last 3 months of your personal bank statements. Again, allow the home loan advisor to scan through that stuff so they can determine what is going to be put into your loan package and what is not. But by providing it to them, again, it'll make your job a lot easier. Now, you might be thinking, man, this seems like a lot of documentation, and the truth is you're right. But if you provide this information now, you give this documentation up front, it's going to make things so much better for you as the loan plays out. Your job is to give as much information as possible to your home loan advisor now so they can do what they do best, which is find the best qualification, find the best deal for you, and make the loan as easy as possible for you throughout the process. One of the last things that you want to happen is for the lender or the underwriter to come back to you and ask all kinds of crazy questions about your income and your assets when those questions could have been answered up front by providing the right documentation the first time around. All right, so now here is another tip to make it easier on you and on your advisor during this process. Send 1 PDF, 1 file per year. Do not be the person who takes your paper tax return, tears off a page, scans it, send it, tears off a page, scans it, send it, page by page by page. Doesn't that sound like a lot of work? Well, it is for you to submit, and it's a lot of work for everybody else to go through later. What's easiest is if you communicate with your tax preparer and you get the full file for that particular year and send it in 1 PDF. Do not take pictures of each page with your phone and try to send page by page that way through a photo either. 1 file, 1 PDF for that 1 tax return year. Now, here's another tip that most people miss. Most people who are self-employed have a lot of their business income and their tax stuff flowing through to their personal tax return. So that means you not only have to provide your business tax returns for the last 2 years, you need to make sure you provide your personal tax returns from the last 2 years. That means providing the entirety of your personal tax return for the last 2 years. So not just the first few pages, but every schedule that's attached to it. Things like Schedule E's or Schedule C's, all of it. The entire personal tax return is going to have some of that data, some of that information from your business to help make sure the qualifying and underwriting process goes a lot easier. All right, so where are we at? You as a self-employed person, yes, you can get a home loan. That is great news. And really the ability to get that home loan isn't any tougher than getting a home loan if you're not self-employed. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is provide 2 years worth of your federal tax returns and your personal tax returns, 2 years of those as well. You also need to provide some profit and loss statements, especially if you have a year-to-date profit and loss statement or the last year's finished profit and loss statement. And you want to have 3 months worth of bank statements for both your business and personal use. Now, I think self-employed people are awesome. I'm self-employed, so I think that you're awesome as well. You know, here at Stewardship, we like serving business owners. We like serving self-employed people, and we believe that business ownership is a really big deal to our society, to the people in our community, and serving business owners helps us in our mission of loving people through finances. So if you want to see more awesome content like this, consider subscribing.